beautiful day to all of you. Ika nga nila, magandang araw. So a beautiful day to all of you on this 13th day of July. It's Wednesday, largely overcast. We expect a lot of rain all day because that's part of the season we're in, the rainy season. I do hope that all of you are all right, that you are all disease-free, or most of you are, because syempre naman hindi pwedeng lahat libre, but that all of you are well. And please do join us. Thank you for those of you who are full-time subscribers of Cignal TV, viewers of One News PH, and followers of Agenda, both on Cignal, on Facebook, and on YouTube. And thank you to PLDT for their home fiber optic internet. Very, very reliable. Okay, let's start the day with our daily starter. And it is a very good reminder para sa inyong gustong palaging may blessing, para sa inyong gustong palaging napupuno ang salop. Ika nga, sabi ni Ronnie po, ni FPJ, our daily starter is from the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 10. And I live by this. And it goes, bring all the tithes into the storehouse, so there will be enough food in my temple. If you do, says the Lord of heaven's armies, I will open the windows of heaven for you. I will pour out a blessing so great you won't have enough room to take it in. Try it. Put me to the test. Listen to that last phrase, to that last sentence. Try it. Subukan mo. Subukin mo ako. And I just unabashedly share this with every Filipino. Dati po kasi tayo yung number 2 in Asia kasi masunurin tayo sa Panginoon, and we were very charitable, generous people. Kumbaga, naturuan na lang tayo ng kung ano-ano ng mga Western influences. But go back to that, because I believe the Philippines will be profitable, will be rich, will be blessed when we accept God's challenge. Challenge tayo eh. Try it. Subukan mo at subukan nyo ako. Okay, let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star. Quick review of the front page. The headline, DepEd full in-person classes start November 2. Sabi ni Secretary Sara Duterte on her first department order, all classes in public and private schools to start November 2. At the top of the front page, the header, 15 of 17 regions surpass dengue epidemic threshold. So heads up, paalala, babala, okay? Kung 17 ang regions sa Pilipinas, 15 na, 15 na ang lumampas na sa threshold o batayan ng dapat kung saan aabot ang dengue. In other words, malala po ang sitwasyon. Okay, the photo on the left is the photo of Maria Antonia Tony Yulo Loizaga, who was recently nominated. Kailangan pala ngayon, mga kaibigan, sasabihin natin nominated, hindi appointed, because they only become appointed when they are cleared by the Commission on Appointments. Okay, so Maria Antonia Tony Yulo Loizaga, former executive director of the Manila Observatory and a scientist, will soon become, if she is approved by the CA, the next chief of or secretary of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. On the upper left side of the page, of the front page, you have photos of origami and protester protesting in front of the Chinese consulate in Makati to mark the 6th anniversary of the arbitral ruling or tribunal in The Hague na sinasabing there is no such thing as the 9-dash line or something. Kumbaga, teritoryo ng Pilipinas yan, hindi yan China. Okay, PLDT Smart Block 650 fraud-linked online sites. Okay, patuloy po ang pagsasala, pagharang ng PLDT Smart sa mga scammers at mga peking online sites. That center photo, of course, supporting the headline, elementary students of Chiang Kai-shek College in Tondo, Manila, return to face-to-face for the school year 2022-2023. And sinusunod pa rin po yung physical distancing and limited number per classroom. Below that, you have the story, Department of Health, claiming or stating, actually not claiming, stating that the BA.5 variant of COVID-19 is the most dominant Omicron subvariant. Below that, BBM Cabinet tackle budget, build, transport projects. Sa madaling salita, nagmi-meeting na po, nagtatrabaho na ang mga tiga-Malacanang and the BBM administration because it's all hands on deck. Everybody starts working. And on the bottom left, we have a 3D billboard of a butanding or whale shark along EDSA in front of SM Mega Mall. Okay, maganda po yan. High-tech na billboard. Pero sigurado ako, merong babakbak dyan at sasabing it's a distraction. Anti-distraction driving yan. Okay, anyway, pero maganda kung sa maganda. And taming inflation, Pinoy's top concern. May nagpa-survey po, yung Pulse Asia, and lumalabas na karamihan ng Pilipino, most Filipinos are concerned, more than or half of the Filipinos surveyed are very concerned about inflation or yung pagtaas po ng presyo ng mga bilihin. Last but not the least, that photo of a gentleman flashing a 1,000 peso bill, one of the hottest issues on social media today. Yung pong balita because the BSP recently accompanied the release of the 1,000 peso bill with a warning, huwag niyong titiklopin, do not fold, mutilate, etc. the new 1,000 peso bill. The fact of the matter is that warning has always been issued with other currency, paper currency of the BSP. Pero nagkapikunan na po kasi may nagsabing it will result into imprisonment. Kumbaga, gumawa kayo ng pera, may problema yung ginawa niyong pera kasi pag tiniklop baka masira, pagkatapos yung gagastos ng pera pinagbabantaan. Ayan po. So BSP to retailers and banks accept folded 1,000 peso polymer bills. And that's the wrap-up of our news for today. Welcome back to Agenda. And next up, medyo baka may mga tumaas ang kilay dyan. They might wonder because the stereotypical audience would say, if you are an actor, an artist, and you become a legislator, chances are that your bills would circle on the arts. Pero our first guest for today is not just a veteran actor, kasi matanda na. But hindi naman po siya matanda. Inaasar ko lang siya. Inaalmusalan ko lang siya ng pang-aasar. But he is actually a veteran actor in all seriousness. He is a veteran athlete and also a seasoned local government official who will discuss with us why he decided that his first bill or first piece of legislation would be the 100% foreign ownership of business in the country. Let's get to know our first guest.
Richard Gomez currently serves as the representative of Leyte's 4th District after winning in the 2022 elections. Prior to this, Gomez was mayor of Ormoc from 2016 to 2022. Gomez is also serving as president of the Philippine Fencing Association since 2016. But even before his political career began, Gomez has made a name for himself as one of the top actors in the country.
Okay, welcome to the program, Congressman Richard Goma Gomez. Good morning, my friend. Nakamute, boss.
Good morning, Cito. And good morning sa lahat ng viewers mo, no, sa lahat ng tagapakinig mo.
Okay, well, congratulations on winning a congressional seat. And many people were surprised. Not in a negative way, pero nabigla sila. Inuna mo talaga yung 100% ownership, foreign ownership of their businesses. So let's get straight to the point. What's going on? Why that first?
Sito, kasi kung ako galing ako sa local government, and then ang laging problema talaga ng maraming tao ay yung paghahanap ng trabaho. And very limited yung kaya namin sa local government na ibigay na trabaho sa kanila unless merong malaking kumpanya na pumasok sa aming city, no? Mm-hmm. And to really make this happen all over the country, kailangan talaga bisitahin natin yung ating konstitusyon, no, na nagsasabi doon sa isang section na kailangan yung importante para sa akin na personally yung section ng foreign ownership sa isang malaking kumpanya. Paano sinasabi kasi kailangan isang malaking ang kumpanya has to be 60% owned by Filipino and then 40% lang pang foreign ownership. Ang sa akin naman, kung gusto natin ng maraming trabaho, gusto natin ng malaking kumpanya pumasok dito, we have to invite multinational companies, and for them to come to the Philippines, kailangan bigyan natin sila ng magandang incentive. Number one, siyempre sila yung magdadala ng pondo nila dito, sila yung magtatayo ng negosyo nila dito. Most of these big companies, if not all, would like to have 100% ownership of their own company when they come to a country. And
okay,
ito yung sa provision ng article 12 ng Constitution natin na I think na kailangan natin i-revise or palitan na natin.
Okay, siguro dapat pag-umpisahan dyan, Congressman, is the historical truth-telling dahil may mga nagsasabi nga na yung 100% ownership of companies in the Philippines o yung 60-40 concept na yan, nagmula sa protectionist mentality ng mga malalaking negosyanteng Pilipino in the past, in our early history. So, but in any case, when you talk about foreign companies, how big is big and how small is small? Kasi alam mo, karamihan ng mga foreign companies are still in the MSMEs level kasi yan yung mga mom and pop na nakapag-asawa ng foreigner katulad ko. Yung asawa magtatayo ng business, di ba? Now, doon sa plano mo, in your proposed bill, how big is big?
Big is multinational companies ang pinakamaganda diyan. Sito, kung gusto talaga natin na gumalaw yung ekonomiya natin. Dahil when you talk of big companies, multinational, pag pumasok yun sa Pilipinas, they come in by the billions of dollars. No? Okay. And then yung mga maliit na kumpanya, mga MSMEs, no, mga micro, small and medium enterprises, magti-trickle down yung ekonomiya sa kanila. Because number one, pag pinanood mo yung TV everyday, yung balita sa mga news na sinasabi, naghahanap ng trabaho, maraming tao walang trabaho, 2.6 million yung jobless, ang inflation rate natin 6.1%. So yun talaga yung number one problem. And then Cito, let me I came across an article na sinasabi na yung top 10 natin na urgent issues, laging sinasabi, control inflation, no? Kailangan itaas yung sweldo ng tao, ibaba natin yung poverty, kailangan daw mag-create ng maraming trabaho, fight graft and corruption. All of this hindi nasasagot ng mga maraming Filipino-owned companies. So if you want the big companies, let's say for example, Microsoft, Apple, Samsung, technology side pa lang, pag yun pa lang ang pumasok, that will already create thousands of jobs. Now, pag may trabaho yung mga tao, meron silang buying power na nagagamit nila yung pera nila para sa pambili ng pang-araw-araw nila, then that will help bring down inflation. Paano kasi may buying power yung tao, may sweldo sila eh. So hindi mo pa problemahin sito yung controlling inflation, no? Doon pa lang may feel natin yung effect ng inflation, yung create ng jobs. Ang daming mangyayaring maganda kapag ito lang isang aspect pa lang nung constitution ang papalitan natin.
Okay, so that's true kasi kung may pambili, may pambayad, kahit na mahal, basta may pera, may panggastos. But what about the comments or I'm just thinking, picking thoughts from the clouds, ika nga, no? Kasi yung utak ko nasa iCloud na rin eh. Okay. Anyway, but some people would say, Congressman Gomez, pwede naman ma-address yan ng PESA concept. Meron tayong mga export processing zone, etc. Kasi yun parang naging issue nga yan with the San Miguel Bulacan Airport proposed export processing zone. Ano yung reaction mo doon na there are other mechanisms for foreign investors to be secure in their investments?
Hindi, kasi yung let's say for example, yung vinito ni President BBM dun sa economic zone sa Bulacan. Meron tayong yung create law. So, ang tingin ko is nakita ni Presidente na kung gagawin pa itong isang economic zone, magdodoble lang siya. No? Ako nagtayo ako ng isang negosyo sa isang agricultural business sa district namin, and I'm trying to tap on the different incentives of the government, no. Ang para sa akin is meron tayong create law, and I'm not going to elaborate on the create law, but the create law, ito isang incentives para sa mga negosyante na pumapasok dito sa
Pilipinas.
On the local scene.
Okay.
Ngayon, yung sinasabi natin na PESA, Cito, yung PESA naman, tignan natin all over the country, ilan yung PESA natin. Ilan talaga itong PESA na to na nagge-generate ng trabaho. Not all PESAs are successful, no? Sa local government, ako dati akong mayor, ang incentive na makuha namin sa PESA is of course real property tax, tapos taxes from salaries, at saka yung creation of jobs on the local scene. Yun yung mga incentives na makuha namin as mayors, no.
But not all local governments have PESAs in their neighborhood.
Yes. And para mag-PESA ka, you also need hundreds of millions, if not billions of investments. And ilan lang Filipino businessmen ang kaya mag-invest in the billions. That is why, Cito, it's very important for me as a lawmaker na nakita ko na we should, if we really want to invite big businesses that will bring in direct foreign incentives, bigyan natin ng pagkakataon na sila mismo, pwede silang magmay-ari ng negosyo nila 100%.
Okay. In agreement with you is the ambassador of Norway who actually brought that subject matter up with President Bongbong Marcos. Now, I'm sure as a mayor, you have talked to Koreans, Japanese, Chinese, and some European investors. Ano yung mga other suggestions nila aside from 100% foreign ownership of equity?
Paano kasi Cito yung mga malaking local investors natin, they already have their own businesses, no? And karamihan ng mga mga foreigners na dumadaan sa amin sa local government, tinatanong kung meron kami mga business codes, meron ba kami mga business incentives for mga negosyante na papasok sa syudad namin. So again, that is one thing that we should also look into, na yung mga LGUs dapat meron silang mga local incentive codes nila.
Okay, but okay, now my next question is kasi may mga public utility areas or na inopen up ang gobyerno with the Public Services Act yata yon. Now, I just returned from Batangas this weekend from Lipa and we are under, I think, Batelec or Batelec 2. Nakatikim lang naman ako doon ng walang kuryente, magdamag buong gabi, buong hapon. And I said, eto na yung problema. Paano ka mag-e-enjoy sa probinsya or paano ka magsusustain ng business kung ang mga power providers kooperatiba na limited. Now, would you allow or would you recommend that foreign investors also be allowed to enter those businesses? Kasi I'm sure, ewan ko, sa Ormoc ba consistent yung kuryente ninyo?
Alam mo, Cito, sa Ormoc City, we host the world's second largest geothermal power generator in the world. No, ito yung sa EDC. And in spite of that, frequent pa rin yung brownout sa amin. Paano kasi yung local electric cooperative namin hindi naman kumukuha or bumibili ng kuryente doon sa EDC kung saan kami ang host. Ang ginawa nila, because nga meron tayong yung electric, meron tayong spot market, no, yung WESM.
Yeah.
And that gives them liberty to purchase yung electric nila kung saan sila makakamura at makakatipid. So nung bumili sila ng kontrata nila ng kuryente, nabili nila yung kuryente nila sa isang power generator sa Bataan. That is coal-driven. No, that is coal-powered generator.
Ibang klase rin, ano?
Diba?
Nasa Leyte sila, nasa Ormoc sila, bibili sila ng kuryente sa Bataan.
Correct. Kasi pag pinag-aralan mo talaga yung itong energy sector, it's a very complicated sector na magulo talaga. It's very complicated. So ang problema ngayon, tumaas yung presyo ng coal dahil sa gera. You know, most of the coal that we use are all imported coming from other countries. Okay,
yeah,
pag
60% of it comes from Indonesia, and Indonesia now wants to freeze the ball kasi baka magkaubusan daw. Wala rin sila.
Correct. At saka kung meron ka makukuha na coal, pag pinadala mo sa Pilipinas yan, siyempre itatanker mo yan. Ang laking problema sa bunker fuel nun. Ang mahal na sa rising fuel prices ngayon. So, patong-patong yung problema. Ang sinasabi ko dito, dapat katulad dun sa local electric cooperative namin, andun na sa bayan namin yung power generator, dapat doon na nila kinuha. You know, the nice thing about geothermal power, itong renewable energy, constant yung presyo niya. Siguro nung initially, mas mataas yung presyo niya dun sa coal, pero ngayon tumaas na yung coal, yung power niya, nandun pa rin yung presyo niya. Dapat I think that's one thing that as legislators now, we should look into that. Pero again, very complicated itong matter na to. But I'll try to look into that kung ano yung pwede namin magawa. Pero,
okay. Pero you either, as a new congressman, and form a bloc and force the issue for power suppliers to buy local first before they import locally, or at the next option is you give them competition. Going back to my last question, is that something open or available on the table? Kasi yung Norway, ibang klase sila sa Congressman Richard, matindi sila sa renewable and yung sinasabi mong yung steam.
Yes.
Malupit ang Norway dyan. They have some of the most efficient technology. Kung nandiyan na sa bakuran ninyo yung mga geothermal sources na yan, tapos papasok pa ang Norway companies na pwede papayagan silang magtayo dyan, di panalo na kayo.
Yes, Cito, meron nang pumasok na Korean company sa amin. Ang ginagamit naman nila is solar panels to generate electricity. And then
Which is complementary to the geothermal. Kasi may nagsasabi nga, kuminsan yung hydro natutuyuan, kailangan pumasok yung solar. Pag tagpanahon naman ng tag-ulan ngayon, may geothermal ka naman dyan. Aba, lilipat na kami sa Ormoc. Mura na kuryente, pwede mag-aircon lagi.
And then meron German company na nag-survey sa Ormoc City para sa paggamit ng wind technology in producing electricity. And there are some areas in Ormoc na pumasa yung area namin kasi consistent yung bato ng hangin. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to expound on that. And then we'll be able to...
Yeah, sorry ako nga kasi ang dami mong mga binibigay na new information. What about legislating for Ormoc City to become the renewable energy capital and city of the Philippines? Kasi may geothermal ka mo, nandiyan na yung mga Koreano. Pwede mo nang patawagan yung Norwegian ambassador, tapos yung German pa. Aba, all four nasa inyo na. Puro renewable pa.
Actually, we are considered as the renewable energy capital of the Philippines because of the EDC geothermal power. We produce about 700 megawatts of power dito. So yung ibang kuryente namin, umaabot yan dito sa Metro Manila, bumabato yan dito.
Okay, so everything seems to be falling into place. So if you have all of this renewable energy and listening to you, lumalabas na high capacity. So kung high capacity, madaling magtayo ng mga export zones, factories, etc. sa Ormoc. Tapos mura ang kuryente, which is the second complaint of foreign investors. Aside from 100% equity ownership, the second is dapat mababaan ng cost of electricity or power.
Yeah, so ibabalik ko talaga dun sa unang problema natin Cito, yung 100% ownership ng foreign investors. Because when you put up renewable energy facilities, it entails a big amount of money. So mahal talaga magtayo. Maswerte tayo na during the time na tinayo ni Presidente Ferdinand Marcos itong geothermal power sa EDC, gobyerno talaga yung tumulong doon at nag-spearhead ng pagtayo ng geothermal power na to until na-privatize. So, ganun din. We want to invite investors to come into Ormoc City and kaya naman, except that they are limited doon sa 60-40 scheme ng Constitution natin. Now, kung mababago natin yun at makakapasok sila ng 100%, especially for, siguro, kung bibigyan mo ng classification Cito, ilagay mo doon sa mga malaking, sa large sector of the industry, then we will be able to invite bigger investors, not just in Ormoc, but all over the Philippines. And siguro ang magiging sentro niya, hindi na Metro Manila. Kasi wala nang lugar sa Metro Manila para paglagyan pa ng malaking, especially manufacturing companies. Pupunta lahat yan sa mga probinsya sa iba-ibang rehiyon na meron pang malaking areas kung saan sila pwede magtayo ng mga kumpanya nila.
Okay, now Congressman, reality check, because in Congress, as your wife, Madam Lucy, certainly must have discovered, in Congress, pakisamahan yan, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. Madaling salita, legislations or proposed bills need support.
Yes.
Ikaw ba ay nabigyan ka na ba ng green light? Meron ba nag-recommend yan sa Malacanang? Kasi a presidential stamp of approval on your idea makes it quicker. A backing from the Speaker of the House makes it quicker. Who's on board with this? Kasi I know there are businessmen, local businessmen who will oppose you to hell and back.
Sa Congress, hindi pa kami pinapatawag para pag-usapan kung ano yung priorities ng bagong administration. Ako, I'm basing it on pronouncements of the President, of some of the cabinet members. Pinapakinggan ko, ina-analyze ko kung ano yung mga sinasabi nila. And then from there, doon ko iniisip kung ano sa tingin ko yung magiging thrust ng gobyerno to. And isa sa nakita ko, Cito, is yung number one, I know you're also concerned about agriculture. Si President Bongbong is very concerned about the rice the rice program of our country. Gusto niya palakasin yung rice program natin. That is why ito yung isang panukala na final ko sa Kongreso Cito na kung pwede is i-postpone muna natin yung SKN barangay elections. Dahil it will cost the country about a little over 8 billion pesos kung magka-election tayo ngayon. And coming from recently concluded elections, kung titignan mo, itong July na to, patapos na yung taon natin. So a big budget of the agriculture sector nagamit na dun sa priority programs ni President Duterte. And here comes a new president na meron din siyang sarili niyang priority programs. And yun nga, ang gusto niya is yung rice sufficiency program. So doon ko nakita na if we will postpone the SKN barangay elections this year and gawin na lang natin next year, lalagyan natin ng budget for next year, yung 8 billion na yon, pwedeng gamitin yon para sa agricultural program na priority ni BBM.
Okay. So you're listening to the chirping in Malacanang, and hopefully they will also return the favor by supporting your proposed legislation. Okay.
Hopefully.
Thank you very much, Congressman Richard Gomez, and congratulations and the best wishes to you and your family.
Salamat, Cito. Thank you so much for guesting me here. Please continue including us in your daily prayers. Thank you so much.
We will. Thank you very much. That's Congressman Richard Gomez and Lucy Gomez. And kung kayo po ay nagtataka bakit pinahabol pa ni Kong Richard yung include us in your prayers. Kasi actually natutunan ko yan from Lucy Gomez. Nung in-interview ko siya, dekada na ang nakaraan. And I said, Lucy, how can you be so blessed? Maganda ka. Galing ka sa magandang pamilya. Tapos gwapo at sikat yung asawa mo. Sikat ka. Where is all of this coming from? What is the secret? And Lucy Gomez told me, and I have not forgotten, Cito, it is because my mother and my father have been praying for me since the day I was born every day. And I took that to heart. And every day we pray for and over our daughter Hannah and ourselves and our friends. So malaking bagay po yung prayer. Okay, let's go for a quick break. And when we return, puntahan naman natin our next guest, a veteran economist, a former cabinet member para sa lain. Let's find out what are his observations and inputs regarding the incoming cabinet, the selection, the process, etc. For the BBM administration here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. And for this second part of our program today, we will be interviewing a veteran pa rin, but this one, a veteran in government service, particularly in the field of economics. And we have invited him to the program and we are thankful that he has accommodated us kasi ang hirap pong intindihin yung mga nangyayari sa pilian ng incoming cabinet members. There was a time when I thought it was a simple process of nominations, selection, screening, and syempre automatic. Then they will announce who is the cabinet member. But in the past few weeks, we have all heard of announcements, renouncements, and appointments that were not actually appointments until they are screened by the Commission on Appointments, etc., etc. Sumakit na po ulo ko. Meron pang announcement this week na, well, the next person for the Department of Energy is Secretary Lotilla, but only if he will pass the test of Republic Act, so forth and so on. Masakit sa ulo. Let's get to know our next guest.
Ernesto Pernia is an economist and writer who is also Professor Emeritus at the UP School of Economics. In 2016, Pernia was appointed by former President Rodrigo Duterte as Socio-Economic Planning Chief until he resigned in 2020. The economist is a recipient of various awards such as the Leadership in Science and Economics from the Philippine American Academy of Science and Engineering.
Welcome to the program, Secretary Pernia. Thank you very much for your time today, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me, having me in your program, in your well-watched program.
Sana magdilang anghel kayo, Professor. Kasi anyway, ako po mga kaibigan mag-aalalay lang dito kasi Professor Emeritus itong ating bisita. But Professor and former Secretary, you were with the NEDA, you were in the cabinet of President Duterte. Could you help us figure out this ongoing process of finding candidates, selecting candidates, and appointing candidates to the next cabinet without any politics involved? Kasi maraming nahihilo na, ano ba yan? Na-announce, ni-renounce, may na-announce, conditional lang announcement, etc.
My experience during the administration of President Duterte was before the oath-taking on June 30, which is just prior to the start of the new year for the administration.
Mm-hmm.
All the cabinet, all the nominated cabinet secretaries were already in full. No additional. Well, later there were additional cabinet secretaries, but in terms of the core cabinet, it was complete before the oath taking of the president. So the difference now is that it's taking a bit longer for the new president to complete his cabinet roster, and so it's coming in bits and pieces every day or every other day.
What complicates the process? In fairness to President Bongbong Marcos, he did say on numerous occasions that he did not prioritize the selection of a cabinet like President Duterte because he was concentrating on the campaign and the elections because siguro he was still haunted by his run for the VP position many years back. But he said, hindi ko priority yan, ano muna ako, kampanya. But now that they're going through, what are your thoughts on this? How can they better simplify the process, or is it really a nightmare?
President Duterte, former President Duterte, had a selection committee. when he after he won in the elections, which is May, around May, first week of May, he already formed his selection committee, and the selection committee was the one that screened the appointments.
Mhm.
And there are two levels of cabinet secretaries: those that have to undergo the commission on appointments. These are really the the standard cabinet secretaries. There
Mhm.
are others that are also in the cabinet, but they don't need to be uh, certified by the appointments committee, which is made up of senators and congressmen.
So they have like rank of cabinet, but they are not officially cabinet.
Well, they are cabinet, but they didn't have to undergo the screening or the deliberation of the Commission on Appointments.
Okay. Now, with everything
Example.
that's yes, sir.
An example is the executive secretary, I think, need not go through the Commission on Appointments.
Okay.
And also other like the National Security Advisor also doesn't go through the Commission on Appointments.
Mhm.
So those are the examples of cabinet secretaries that do not have to go through the Commission on Appointments.
When you were NEDA, heading NEDA, you had the rank of cabinet, if I'm not mistaken. Did you have
Yes.
to undergo the Commission on Appointments process?
Yeah, I went through the ringer of the Commission on Appointments because NEDA is one of the key agencies in the government. It's one of the members of the economic team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More than just a member of the economic team. It's the NEDA that essentially puts the entire economic plan into black and white. Am I not correct?
That's correct. We did the Philippine Development Plan 2017 to 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still there, and it was followed by my successor.
Okay, I think part of the friction or problem that's going on in the selection or finding members of cabinet is the fact that the BBM administration managed to put up an economic team within the first week after the president's oath taking, and people were impressed. They said it was a solid team. It was a team of experts, etc. And then after that, things kind of slowed down. Your thoughts on the first team, the economic team? What's your assessment of them in terms of as a working group and in terms of who will be the real leader?
Yes, the economic team is really key to the administration because most of the things that have to be taken up have to do with the economy.
Mm-hmm.
The economy has to be there so that people will be provided the goods and services. At the same time, people or those selected from the population will participate in the undertaking of economic projects and economic provision of economic services. So anyway, so it was correct that the first appointments because it looks like now that the appointments are sequential, one after the other. But in terms of the sequence, I think it was correct that the economic team was the first set of cabinet secretaries who were appointed and who were, nominated. Actually, it's really nomination by the president to be, screened by the Commission on Appointments. That's
okay.
really.
Yeah. You come from the academe. You are a veteran economist, etc. How did you end up in Malacanang or in the NEDA? Kasi people are wondering about this. How does one get nominated or appointed?
Yes. In my case, I was already involved to a minor extent in the campaign of the president, because I had some connection with the president through a first cousin of his.
Mhm.
And I think that first cousin of that brother-in-law of mine was the one who suggested, or who brought my name up to President Duterte.
Okay, so
So-
you were in one part a supporter, which is seems to be a common denominator, whether in the campaign or in confidence or belief in the president. Second, you had someone. There was someone in the network. Okay, but did you need the endorsement of a community such as, let's say, the University of the Philippines, or a body of economists who would say, well, we should get Professor Pernia because he's the most qualified in this area of planning?
No, I don't think so. I think it was more, it was not that kind of general endorsement. It was just through, some connection that which he believed, or which he trusted.
Mhm.
So that is what happened.
Okay,
And
when
you mentioned about,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned about whether the cabinet team that has been appointed or nominated, that is the correct word, nominated for now, it's a very solid economic team, cohesive, and I am sure that they are, they come from UP, and they understand each other. They know they know what are the responsibilities of the NEDA secretary, the finance secretary, the Department of Budget and Management, and then Central Bank. Those are the key members of the economic team. And as I've said, all of them, except the DBM, or maybe she had some postgraduate studies in UP, but at least the three, I know they are all solid from UP, and quite respectable and able economists.
Okay,
And
now
important
yes, sir.
thing, Mr. Beltran, is that
Sito lang, sir, at ikaw ang aking professor today.
the important thing is that they are able to coalesce, so they're able to be synchronous in terms of making decisions.
Okay, in the past administration, and I mean no, I mean no disrespect, but in the past administration, there were numerous incidents that of allegations na may conflict, may barasuhan. In this new team, in terms of team leadership or leader, is this going to be how do you call it, collaborative body, or is this someone saying, oh, gawin ninyo ito?
Yeah, I think it's going. They're going to be a good. They'll be doing teamwork. So a good. They'll be okay in terms of supplementing each other's expertise, and filling in what cabinet secretary would not be so competent in, the other one would be able to fill it in. So it's a good collection of economists, the economic team.
Okay, now in terms of
in the
Yes,
previous
sir?
administration, Cito, it was more heterogeneous. The members of the economic team were coming from different backgrounds. That is the difference.
Different philosophies, different agendas. So there would be a clash, especially of brilliant men and women. There will ultimately be a clash. But in this case, they have common roots, common history. So mas suabe, as they would say.
I would think so by comparison. Yes.
Okay, now as far as programs are concerned, having been in that seat, how will they go about, or how does government go about deciding priorities? Because there are so many concerns right now. In a survey, they said the primary concern of Filipinos is inflation. The business sector is talking about agricultural crisis. The banking sector is talking about the peso-dollar devaluation. What should be the priority?
No, I think inflation is something that is overarching in terms of impact on people.
Mm-hmm.
So the rich, the poor, especially the poor, are going to be really adversely affected by inflation. So I think it's a correct priority, but inflation, in terms of addressing inflation, you have to do a lot of things. You have to make the economy grow faster. You have to make sure that you have the wherewithal to import what is not available in the Philippines, and make sure that the Bangko Central is not going to be raising interest rates too high, because then it will not be good for economic growth. But now, for example, our interest policy rates are what we call the central bank interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be just 2%. It was very low, they kept it that low because they wanted the economy to really perk up because of the pandemic. But now that inflation is rearing its ugly head, it's already 6.1% inflation rate, which is 2.1% higher than the band. The band is supposed to be 2 to 4%.
Mm-hmm.
So the upper end of the band would be 4%. So now it's 6.1%. So it's time for the central bank to really be raising interest rates to dampen inflation.
Okay, by how many percent, Secretary Pernia?
Some people say that, I think Diwa Gunigundo was saying that the central bank raised interest rates too late. It should have done it. Diwa Gunigundo was a deputy governor before.
Yes.
And he said it should have been done sometime in February, when the inflation rate was already, showing, was already beginning to peak, to pick up. But then it's only recent that the central bank decided to raise policy rates by 25 basis points.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is likely to be 50 basis points.
So double what it is now.
That's right.
Okay, now what would be the final solution? My last question, Secretary Pernia, because you were saying that we need to import what's not available. We need to fast track the economy or boost the economy. And the only thing I can think of would be, temporary jobs, etc., just for money to go around. And already Congressman Richard Gomez has said, let's not push through with the local election. What would be the ika nga instant, yung noodle soup solution natin?
Yeah, well, people are certain quarters are saying that we should set aside first the excise tax on oil, which is not a good idea. A better idea is, and which is also favored by other sectors, is targeted ayuda to the poor sectors who are really needing the ayuda.
Mhm.
And so that is the thing that we need to do. So, but that is a short term. This
Yeah.
is a short term solution. In the medium to longer run, we really should ramp up the the provision that we can get from agriculture, because agriculture has been a laggard. Agriculture has been lethargic,
Mhm.
growing at only about what 1% or less than 1%, sometimes even negative. And it
A
should.
big businessman, Secretary Pernia, that I interviewed. Actually, I'll be transparent about it. Mr. Ramon Ang has said that we need to change our attitude. Instead of forecast, we need to tell these managers or these cabinet secretaries to go for a goal. Kumbaga, like in the corporate area, this year you must have 15% growth rate or 20% growth rate. It's not, we will see what we can try. Give them targets. Is it possible to give, like let's say the Department of Agriculture, we want you to have rice production of this much this year, or dairy this year, because you're in the economic planning, you're the economic planning expert. Is that doable?
Yes, it is doable, but it has to be given some time. It cannot be done, say, in a month.
Mm-hmm.
It can be done in maybe 6 months. But then in the meantime, as I've said, the government has to provide social safety nets,
Yes.
which is the ayuda.
Okay, which can go on from July to December.
That's correct. And yes.
And after that, the agri and all the other sectors should be able to have a ramped up and caught up.
Right. So provide enough budget for the agriculture department to ramp up what it should be doing.
Even if we have to borrow money, Mr. Secretary?
Well, we're already over borrowing actually. But we still have some some headroom, I think, for raising the budget for 2023, example.
Would you suggest just cutting on certain projects and just prioritizing, kasi ang daming projects eh.
Oh yes. Yeah, I would prioritize food production and even hospitals and education before hard infrastructure. Infrastructure is important, transportation and all that, airports and seaports and all that. They are also very important, but more urgent to me would be health requirements, food requirements, and education requirements. Our education is really, again, lagging behind. It's in bad shape,
Okay.
and you know that stunting is a problem in our country. About 1/3 of 0 to 5 children, 0 to 5 years old children are stunted.
We
Can you
are
imagine? That's a lot of
we are back to raising barangay 411 again because of malnourished children, not only physically but mentally. But anyway, Secretary, unfortunately, I've run out of time. I will be penalized for going overtime. So may I just request for a second interview so we can have a lecture series from you, sir?
Sure. I'll be happy to be of help and whatever I can.
Much appreciated, Secretary Pernia. God bless you. God bless your family, and stay healthy. Thank you for your time.
To you too, Mr. Cito.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. And that's Secretary Pernia. And let's end the day with our blessing from Genesis chapter 49, verse 25. May the God of your father help you. May the Almighty bless you with the blessings of the heavens above and the blessings of the watery depths below, blessings of the breasts and the womb. God bless the Philippines. Let's pray for our national leaders, for our churches, and especially for our family. Please keep it here on One News PH.